to Santa Monica Cribs. This is Nate Pilot, your favorite agent from DigitalBGA. Welcome to my place, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the magic happens. Follow me, come on. This is my office slash bedroom slash meditation studio. Very simple. You know what, guys? I like to keep things super simple. I like to be efficient, you know, so I don't have 3 monitors. I don't have a crazy headset. Honestly, I just got my MacBook and the headphones that go right into it. That's how I work. Because also I like to be able to work on the road when I travel, just bring my laptop. I like the same setup wherever I go. And being so light on my toes keeps things very easy, very simple for me, which I think is important for being able to do the same thing every day with as little tech problems, errors as possible. This whiteboard, I keep a bunch of goals up here. The importance for me of having your goals up on your board or just somewhere visible, it's always looking you dead in the face. You're always accountable to it. You know, for me, this is my whiteboard. For the sake of this shoot, I kind of erased some of my personal goals, but just imagine in this space here, a bunch of goals, right? I do keep a paper calendar. I'm a little old school with that, as well as digital calendars and everything, but especially having goals. You know, every single month I have a goal of AP that I want to hit, whether it's 30,000, 40,000. I have the specific metrics and how I'm going to achieve that goal, how much talk time I want, how many policies I want to write, how much AP per week. For my particular goal, I set it as $7,500 in AP per week. How do I get there? 180 to 300 minutes of talk time per day. So those are just some of the metrics that usually I would have here up on this whiteboard. But I do think those things are important to have just burned into your mind. What better way to do it than keep it visible with a whiteboard? You know, I love whiteboarding stuff, whether it's quotes right here. I got a Bible verse. I change those out every now and then. Just things that keep me inspired, things that keep me focused, on point, and ready to attack for the day. I came in with absolutely zero experience selling insurance. And I think whether you're brand spanking new like I was when I came in or an experienced agent, coming in and trusting the platform that we've been given at DigitalBGA. We're so lucky here. I didn't know how lucky I was until much later. You know, to have the platform of the CRM, to have the leads, you know, to the quality of leads that we have, to have leaders like Nick and Jeff and Brian Moody, the training material, the onboarding, all those videos, the resources. I did not know how lucky I was until a few months in, you know, and actually right away out of the gate, the support from the brokerage managers behind the scenes, you know, calling them when I was brand spanking new, was struggling with the quoter, the script, whatever it was, these guys being so responsive, other agents being so responsive. So I think a brand new agent coming in and understanding that the system that's in place is stable and solid enough to hold you even when you're nervous and your knees are knocking together like a newborn antelope, right? You have room with DigitalBGA to make a few mistakes early on. Trust in the training material, trust in the script, trust in the leadership, and absorb as much as you can. Because I'll tell you this, some of the things that you hear from the mouths of, you know, other agents, or even, you know, mostly I listen to either Jeff or Nick and Brian. That's who I rely on mostly for advice. But the things that they say are not only immediately applicable, but tend to steer you back on the right track if you should find yourself going off the trajectory of the fundamentals that you learned early on. As agents, you know, we're dealing with every variety of personality you can imagine, from sweet old Dorothy to, you know, prickly old Paul, who knows, right? Every personality you can imagine, every way of saying no that these creative people can come up with. And, you know, sometimes those conversations can be fairly agitating. And I mean, we all have bad days, right? I think it's important, you know, not just as salespeople or just as agents, but in general, you know, to have a process of decompression. You know, how to do so. I'm not the master of decompression, my friends, nor am I a meditative guru of some fashion. But I will tell you some of the things that I do. One big thing for me is journaling. Definitely. Journaling. I actually every morning have a practice I call PMI, which is prayer, meditation, inventory. For me, it starts off in my journal. I start off with 5 items of gratitude, 3 items of intentions for the day, and 3 items of long-term goals. And then after that, I'm old school. I read the Bible. I read the Bible. Meditation for me, a lot of people hear meditation, they think of Eastern meditation, like, sitting still, quieting the mind. Mine is a little bit different. I read scripture. I meditate on what that means to me and how to apply it into my life or integrate it into my spirit. And then I pray. I pray to be of service to those that I might encounter during the day, whether that's a client over the phone or someone that I'm serving, and some of the things that I do. That's another way to decompress, actually, for me, is being of service to others. I'm lucky enough to be a part of opportunities to serve here in Santa Monica, the homeless community with Salvation Army. Every week myself, I lead 20 to 30 other volunteers, and we cook food and feed the homeless and clothe them. Another thing I'm a part of in the recovery community is going to hospitals, jails, different institutions, and talking about sobriety. I'm sober myself. Those are a few things. Definitely being of service. Also physically. Physical decompression for me, when I wake up in the morning, I go on a walk to that Palisades Park looking over the ocean, and I walk back. Usually I'm listening to something soothing. A lot of times it's the Bible, an audiobook, or something else. That walk for me, not just doing something physically low impact and soothing, but also keeping that intake of not just, I don't think it's about being positive. I think it's about resetting to reality, resetting myself to the present moment, remembering what this is all about for me, remembering my own values, constant reminders of my own code of ethics, how I behave in response to agitation, how I respond to anger, fear, anxiety, that walk, and also that input or that intake of scripture or other spiritual material helps me just stay with my feet firmly planted on the ground, so that the slightest wind, the slightest breeze can't knock me over. Whether that breeze is somebody cursing me out or hanging me up or saying, yeah, Nate, I'll call you. All of these things, I'm an emotional creature. And we're in the business of communication. I don't think there is good communication without some emotion, especially when you're selling a product or a service that's so, in its nature emotional, or can be, and we can use that emotion to our benefit in completing a transaction or closing a deal, or it could be to our detriment. If we allow negativity or anxiety to encroach on our well-being, and just take over the whole operation of my mind, right? Getting out. I love going to the gym. I love boxing. I'm not a big weightlifter, but I love getting punched in the face, and I love delivering punches to the face, my friends. If you guys need a way to meditate and decompress today, go get punched in the face. Guarantee it won't let you down. It'll knock you down, though. I've seen people come, I've seen people go, and I'll tell you this, someone coming or going has not moved the needle on my commitment to my business and to DigitalBGA. A lot of people come to this opportunity, and whatever they may think it is, I'm unsure. But I know personally, just due to a few people that I've seen come aboard, they expected to get full-time results with less than a part-time effort, or less than a noble effort. It's like, why give something like this a feeble, limp-wristed attempt? Like, this is your own business. Like, DigitalBGA may be the platform, but this is a business. Come in and take it seriously. I love the phrase, casualness leads to casualties. When you come in and you take it seriously and you're committed to not moving an inch, no matter how bad a day may be or a week may be, you'll stick around. We all know about emotional ups and downs when it comes to sales, but I didn't get in this business to test it out or to be here for a couple months and see how it goes. When I started at Digital, luckily I was introduced by somebody that said, no, Nate, take it seriously. Come in with the idea that you're going to be here for 3 to 5 years or more. And after being here for a year and a half, I don't see why that even needs to be the limit. I mean, having an insurance license, being able to sell insurance, especially under the umbrella of an entity so strong as DigitalBGA, I don't see why I would need to do anything else, to be frank. And at the end of the day, some of the way that I think, I know comes from, I've had a really rough go at things, especially in my early adulthood. I come from a life of, there's been, I've been on the streets, I've been in and out of jail. I've had to really clean up a lot in my life. So I really, I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate to starting with nothing. Or in my case, starting with like less than nothing. I would have had to save up to have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So coming in with, I think coming in to really life in the last 6 years for me like that, everything has just, been an upward climb. And DigitalBGA, it took that climb to like, boom, this is the momentum I've experienced in my own life from DigitalBGA, the opportunity, the commitment to the opportunity, the challenge of the opportunity, it just permeates all areas of my life. DigitalBGA, along with my faith and my recovery community, my friends, and etc., it's just another bright star. I don't wake up every morning with drudgery thinking, oh man, I gotta hop into the CRM. No, whenever I feel less than enthusiastic, I know it all comes back to me. It doesn't go to the leads. It's not the leads' fault. It's not, Jeff's fault or Nick's fault or Brian's fault. It's usually something going on internally with me. And that in my opinion can be the only threat to an opportunity like this. Myself. Most of, let's boil it all down. When it comes to actually selling a policy, most of it is far more simple than I can make it. So most of my slow times or, just slow periods in production have been due to me trying to add on pieces that don't need to be there, making me so, cumbersome in my delivery or my workflow that I can become ineffective. Now, luckily, by keeping track of numbers, by keeping my own goals in mind, and also seeking out the advice of Nick West, Jeff Root, and Brian Moody, they're able to help me course correct. And it's usually getting back to something simple that I learned in like the first week. Pay attention, take notes, and just try to keep those fundamentals because they will not steer you wrong.